History books usually tell us what happened, but most of the time they leave one thing out: the bigger picture. Because when you look at the map from a distance, you realize something simple. The world is a stage where power is constantly changing hands. Today, we're looking at the largest empires in history, year by year. Who rose to the top when they reached their peak, how large they became, and how they eventually faded away. The first major turning point takes us back to around 550 BC. The Achaemenid Persian Empire emerges. This wasn't just a large state, it was one of the first intercontinental empires in history. Roughly 5.5 million square kilometers. But what truly set the Persians apart wasn't just conquest. They built roads, organized taxation, and managed to hold different peoples together under a single system. Then the stage shifts to Rome. By AD 117, the Roman Empire reaches its greatest territorial extent. Large parts of modern Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Around 5 million square kilometers. But what made Rome special wasn't its size, it was order. Rome didn't just send soldiers, it brought law, infrastructure, and structure wherever it went. Centuries later, power moves east. Around the year 750, the Islamic Empire reaches its peak under the Umayyads, and later the Abbasids. A vast territory stretching from Spain to Central Asia, about 11 million square kilometers. A single currency, shared trade routes, and diverse cultures governed from one center. For its time, this was extraordinary. But there is one empire in history where the scale changes completely. The year is 1279. The Mongol Empire. Approximately 24 million square kilometers, the largest land empire the world has ever seen, built not with castles or cities, but on horseback, fast, relentless, and devastating. It didn't last long, but its impact was felt for centuries. And then comes the modern era. In 1918, the British Empire stands at its peak, around 35.5 million square kilometers, nearly a quarter of the world. That's why it was called the empire on which the sun never sets. When the sun set in one place, it was always rising somewhere else. At the end of the 20th century, another giant dominated the map, the Soviet Union. Until 1991, with roughly 22.4 million square kilometers, it was one of the largest land powers in modern history. And yet, like all the others, it collapsed. And this is where we need to stop and ask a simple question. What do all these vast, world-shaping empires have in common? The answer is simple, but harsh. None of them lasted forever. Maps changed. Borders shifted, power moved on. History tells us this very clearly. Empires do not fall overnight. They rise to the top, then slowly lose their sense of direction. And when we look back, all that remains are their outlines on a map.